Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast. It's Throwback Thursday, so got an interesting one for you here today. This one shouldn't be too long, but definitely wanted to take the opportunity again. Throwback Thursday, you know what we're here for. We want to give shine to the guys who laid the way and set things in motion for what we see now in pro sports, mainly football and basketball, but don't get all the love that they should. And today, we're going to talk about one of the greatest to ever do it, the legendary Dr. J, Julius Erving. But before we get to that, you know what time it is.
If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait.
All right, so you heard before the intro, we're going to talk today about the one and only Dr. J, Julius Erving. This is a guy who we often look at Michael Jordan in terms of the aerial exploits, in terms of bringing it into the modern day, a lot of what we see with guys flying through the air and all that. But really, Dr. J is probably the guy who precipitated all that and paved the way. Now, a lot of it we missed, and this is crazy because when he was in college, the no dunking rule was in place, so we weren't able to see that, and there's not footage of him dunking in games. All that stuff was happening in practice with him and his teammates. And then once he left college early under the hardship rule, and at the time the NBA only was taking guys who were 4 years out of high school, and so that wasn't going to make it. So he went to the ABA and he played for the Virginia Squires, and so he was doing that. He was getting busy, averaging about 27 a game as a rookie. So we know that Dr. J was an incredible guy, and that's when he really went off. And it's unfortunate that he had to play maybe his first. When did he come into the ABA? 1971, I believe. And so he had to play there until 1976 when the NBA ABA merger happened. And so he was with the Squires and I believe also the New York Nets towards the end of that. But the point is, there is footage, but a lot less than there would be had he been in the NBA. We missed a whole lot of his best, most athletic seasons. There were times when he was averaging nearly 20 rebounds a game, and Dr. J was absolutely incredible. For a small forward, he averaged 8.5 rebounds a game for his career. So we know how hard he was hitting the glass. But yeah, Dr. J, just absolutely phenomenal. And this is the guy that we saw, again, doing all the amazing things that we kind of point to today. Like we talk about Michael Jordan with the air reverse, and Dr. J was one of the first ones to kind of pioneer that, and you could see it. He had the amazing high-flying dunks in the open court. He had a lot of the amazing flip-up shots there you can see. So this is the reverse that he did, which was absolutely phenomenal. And he did that in the, I want to say, 1980 NBA Finals against the Los Angeles Lakers. The Sixers ended up losing that. That was when Magic Johnson scored 42 points in Game 6 with Kareem out. But an absolutely heroic effort by Dr. J. And sometimes, it makes me sad that we don't have the really good footage of these guys from back in the day, because they were doing some incredible stuff. It's just that we can't see it the way we would like to. So anyway, Dr. J, absolute killer. And he was the guy that like I said, he paved the way for the Michael Jordans and the rest of these high flyers to really go out there, attack the rim, doing the reverses and doing all that amazing, all those amazing things in the air. And he was such a what's the word? He was such an icon. Magic Johnson, he wanted to call himself Dr. J, but obviously that was taken because that was his idol when he was growing up in terms of basketball. Now, I know I said that Magic Johnson also said that he took a lot of the flashy stuff from Pistol Pete, which he did in terms of the ball handling and the passing, but in terms of the aerial maneuvers and all those things and the high flying dunks and all of that, he took a whole ton of that from Dr. J. Dr. J went to the NBA Finals, I want to say 3 times. In 77, he got beat by Portland. And then in 1980, he got beat by the Lakers with Magic as a rookie, and then I think finally in 82 they broke 82 81 maybe they broke through, and that was the 4-4-4 season where they only lost one game en route to the championship. Dr. J and Moses Malone. So yeah, absolutely phenomenal, man. Dr. J he was also known for being super stylish. He, I believe, was the first guy with his own shoe. Now other guys would wear the shoe just kind of in different colorways, but he was the first guy who had a personal shoe deal in terms of like, this is my shoe. So there was that. Doc Rivers, Glenn Doc Rivers, the guy we call Glenn the consultant around here, he got his nickname Doc because he's from Chicago, and he talks about being at a basketball camp at a high schooler, and he was sitting in the bleachers, and I guess one of the camp cadre called him down and said, "Hey, you, Doc." And the reason why is because he had a Dr. J t-shirt on, and from then the nickname Doc stuck. So that's just another thing to show you how culturally relevant Dr. J was. So you see so many amazing things that he brought. And so Michael Jordan tells you about the influence that Dr. J had on him as a basketball player, so on and so forth. Charles Barkley talks about it because Dr. J was there for his first 3 years in the league with the 76ers. Barkley came in the league in 84. And so Dr. J retired in 1987. So, you see all of these. Dr. J was the first guy that we saw anyway in the slam dunk contest doing the dunk from the free throw line, the slam dunk contest. The NBA brought that over from the ABA after the merger. So that's something that Dr. J popularized. He had, he did so much in terms of the game of basketball, and he showed so much. And again, I'm sorry that there's not more footage available, but the guy was absolutely phenomenal. I'm actually old enough. I just started watching basketball right when Dr. J was finishing up. So I can't really remember too much of him as a player, but like my dad and my uncles and those people and the older people that you're around that knew basketball, they tell you just how phenomenal and how incredible Dr. J was. So just watching him and just seeing, and I really wanted to take some time to come out here and give him his love for being an incredible guy. And just here's something that's a little bit amazing, right? Dr. J, I think he was born in 1951. This is him dunking right there at age 63. So we'll show that one more time. Obviously, he's not getting up like he used to, and he's 6'7", but still, to be able to dunk at age 63, that's really incredible. So that tells you what type of athlete Dr. J was in his prime. And if you go look at, I think, Dr. J's best dunks, like there's compilations on YouTube. I couldn't use that footage here, but there's compilations of him just posterizing bigs left and right. He got Kareem, he got Bill Walton. I mean, he was dunking all over 7-footers. It was crazy. He had no mercy. And of course, there's the famous the Rock the Baby dunk that he did in the NBA Finals on, I think, Michael Cooper. On the breakaway. That was another amazing one. You could look that up as well. But yeah, Dr. J, super influential, super great player, 24 points a game for his career, 8.5 rebounds and 4.2 assists per game. And obviously one of the all-time greats, probably a top 10 small forward of all time, and easily a top 75 and a top 50 player. So yeah, just wanted to take this opportunity to show Dr. J some love on this Throwback Thursday. So yeah, if you remember anything about Dr. J, and there's stuff that, and I'm sure there's tons of stuff that I didn't hit in this video, please go ahead, leave your comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear them. So yeah, that's all I got. I'll be back with you on the next episode, and I'm out. Peace.